Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Kini News, the show that brings you today's biggest stories. Now today, another member of parliament has been called up for an investigation over critical views of the current administration.
Muar MP Syed Saddiq Abdul Rahman is being investigated in relation to an interview in which he was critical of Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin and the Perikatan Nasional government. When contacted by Malaysiakini, he said that Bukit Aman had informed him on June 13 that he is being investigated over his appearance on Al Jazeera's UpFront program on March 6. Bukit Aman CID Deputy Director of the Investigations and Legal Division, Mio Farid Al-Atrash Wahid, confirmed the matter with Malaysiakini when contacted. He also confirmed that Syed Saddiq is being probed under Sedition Act and Section 233 of the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998. In his March 6 interview with Al Jazeera's Mehdi Hassan, Syed Saddiq had expressed his disappointment in Muhyiddin for aligning himself with kleptocrats despite once vowing to challenge them. He had also branded the new administration as an illegitimate and backdoor government. The probe on Syed Saddiq comes after police investigations into former Water, Land and Natural Resources Minister Xavier Jayakumar and former Women, Family and Community Development Deputy Minister Hannah Yeoh. Hannah is being questioned over a fake statement made in March which has since gone viral. She added that she is also being probed over a genuine tweet dated March 9 inquiring about the fate of the national plan to address underage marriage under her successor, Siti Zailah Muhammad Yusof.
DAP's Anthony Loke claims that Harapan has safeguards to ensure that Dr. Mahathir Mohamad will step down as PM after 6 months. Let's hear more in our exclusive interview with him.
There are mechanisms in place to ensure Dr. Mahathir Mohamad will step down at the stipulated period if he becomes Prime Minister for the third time, according to DAP. In an exclusive interview with Malaysiakini, Party Organising Secretary Anthony Loke acknowledged there would be reservations and scepticism regarding the matter.
To make that promise happen, because firstly, if let's say he wants to cling on to power, PKR itself has 38 MPs. Without the 38 MPs, Mahathir cannot continue to govern. What I'm trying to say that each party in the coalition will be able to bring down the government by itself if they pull out. If the promise was not kept, then PKR has the option to force an election by that time.
For context, Pakatan Harapan had signed an agreement on January 7, 2018, naming Mahathir as their candidate for Prime Minister and Anwar as his successor. This time around, Pakatan Harapan Plus is proposing a repeat of the combination from 1993 to 1998, with Mahathir as the Prime Minister and Anwar as number 2. Elaborating, Loke said that the Mahathir-Anwar dynamics must work together if the mandate from voters in 2018 is to be respected.
Pakatan Harapan Plus, in particularly Tun Dr. Mahathir and Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim, must be prepared to work together. And we always keep on emphasizing, we need both leaders. And it is not a zero-sum game. It doesn't mean that if we want Anwar, we do not want Mahathir. Or likewise, or vice versa. We want Mahathir, we do not want Anwar. Because I look at some of the online campaign is ongoing right now. It's like a zero-sum game. I support who? I support who? I mean, one side says support Mahathir, the other side says support Anwar. It is not a zero-sum game.
Loke also clarified that discussions focus on two combinations, Anwar and Muqriz, as well as Mahathir and Anwar.
Amid indecision from the party, 2 PKR members have rejected DAP's proposal and named Anwar as the best choice for Prime Minister candidate.
PKR President Anwar Ibrahim's political aide has expressed disappointment over the revelation that DAP agreed to Dr. Mahathir Mohamad becoming Prime Minister again if Pakatan Harapan and its allies recaptured federal power. In a media statement yesterday, Farhash Wafa Salvador Rizal Mubarak reminded DAP how Anwar had united the opposition and risked alienating Malay support for working with the predominantly Chinese party. Farhash, who is also the Perak PKR chief, was responding to Malaysiakini's exclusive interview with DAP Organising Secretary Anthony Loke, who disclosed the stand of Harapan parties and its allies on the Prime Minister candidate issue. The DAP leader had urged PKR to state its stand on the proposal for Mahathir to be Prime Minister and Anwar as number 2, arguing that there must be a clear way forward. Commenting on this, Farhash said the way forward for PKR means that we will never let Anwar and Malaysians be taken for a ride ever again. Meanwhile, PKR Chief Organising Secretary Nik Nazmi Nik Ahmad had also commented on Anthony Loke's statement. According to the Setiawangsa MP, it was unfair to force Anwar to accept Mahathir as the candidate for the Prime Minister's post due to the latter's past record under the Harapan government. Nik Nazmi pointed his finger at Mahathir with regard to the Sheraton move, saying that part of the political crisis was caused by Mahathir's decision to resign without consulting coalition members. Nik Nazmi also named Anwar as the best candidate for the top post, arguing that Malaysia needed a new beginning and that is a clean government which focuses on fair economy for the people.
So, to work or not to work with Dr. Mahathir, that is the decision that PKR will have to make in an emergency central leadership meeting that has been called for tomorrow.
PKR will mobilise an Emergency Central Leadership Council MPP meeting tomorrow morning to discuss Pakatan Harapan's Prime Minister candidate choice. A source close to the party leadership said the meeting will also deliberate its cooperation with Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. This comes after DAP Organising Secretary Anthony Loke revealed an impasse in the Pakatan Harapan Plus over the coalition's premiership candidate, with PKR failing to make a decision as of June 16. The source said the party decided to bring forward its MPP meeting, which was initially slated for next Sunday. He admitted the meeting was being called after Loke revealed the deadlock in Harapan Plus, noting that PKR was displeased with Loke for openly revealing what transpired in the series of Harapan Plus meetings. The source said the meeting tomorrow would not focus so much on DAP and Amanah. According to the source, the focus of PKR discussion will be the party's position on Mahathir and the party's decision whether to work with him. In a statement today, Harapan Secretary General Saifuddin Nasution confirms the emergency MPP meeting tomorrow. He also stressed that besides Anwar, no other names were nominated by Harapan for the Prime Minister post, and Mahathir had nominated himself with the support of Warisan President Shafi'i Abdul.
Malaysian National Shipping Company MISC has announced that the group's chairman has resigned 2 weeks after he took on the role.
Tanjung Karang MP Noh Omar has stepped down as MIC Berhad chairperson just 2 weeks after he was appointed. In a statement today, MIC said that Noh made the decision after discussing with the Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin. The appointment took effect on June 1st, while his resignation took effect on June 17. Noh, 62, was given a non-independent and non-executive role. In the statement, Noh wished the board and management all the best in taking the company to greater heights, while they likewise wish him the best in his future endeavours. MIC Berhad was previously called Malaysia International Shipping Corporation. It was founded by Robert Quah in 1968. The company was eventually bought over by Petronas. According to the MIC Berhad's annual report for 2019, Noh's predecessor Abdul Halim Muhyiddin was paid RM278,500 that year in fees and meeting allowances. In 2019, MIC posted a profit of a whopping RM1.43 billion.
A former officer of the late Chini Assembly person Abu Bakar Harun has been fielded by the Barisan Nasional as their candidate for the Chini state by-election.
Barisan Nasional has announced their candidate for the Chini by-election. The announcement was made by Pahang Menteri Besar Wan Rosli Wan Ismail at an event today that was also attended by Pekan UMNO Chief Najib Abdul Razak.
Calon yang akan kita pertaruhkan pada PRK N23 Chini adalah seorang calon muda. Anak tempatan, berpengalaman dalam organisasi belia, termasuk organisasi belia federal, dan beliau juga adalah di antara jawatan kuasa UMNO Badan Bukan. Beliau adalah saudara Muhammad Sharif bin Muhammad.
So far, UMNO is the only party to announce that they will be contesting the July 4th Chini state by-election. Pakatan Harapan and both Bersatu factions had announced that they will not be fielding a candidate.
Coming after the break, United States President Donald Trump sought help from China to win re-election, according to a former White House staff. Welcome back. US President Donald Trump's former National Security Advisor John Bolton has made a series of explosive claims about the US President in his new book.
In a series of bombshell allegations out Wednesday, US President Donald Trump, former security advisor John Bolton said that Trump sought Chinese Xi Jinping's help to win re-election during closed-door meeting last June. The accusations are part of the book that the US government sued to block Bolton from publishing, arguing it contains classified information that could compromise national security. Bolton was fired by Trump after 17 months on the job. Excerpts from the room where it happened, a White House memoir, were published by the New York Times, Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post. The revelation comes just 4 months after the Republican-controlled Senate voted to acquit Trump on charges brought by the Democratic-led House of Representatives, stemming from his dealing with Ukraine. Bolton refused to testify in the House and in the book said that the Democrats erred in the impeachment proceedings by focusing solely on Ukraine. Bolton's allegations provide new ammunition to Trump's critics as the president seeks re-election this fall, and include behind-the-scenes accounts of Trump's conversations with Xi, which in one case broached the topic of the November election. In an excerpt of the memoir published in Wall Street Journal, Bolton wrote, Trump then stunningly turned the conversation to the coming US presidential election, alluding to China's economic capability and pleading with Xi to ensure he'd win. He stressed on the importance of farmers and increased Chinese purchases of soybeans and wheat in the electoral outcome. Bolton's book is scheduled to be published on Tuesday.
China recommends improvement in hygiene and management of markets after a surge of new coronavirus cases in the capital, Beijing.
Low standards of hygiene in China's wholesale food markets and vulnerabilities in its food supply chain need to be urgently addressed, said China's top disciplinary body. These came after the resurgence of COVID-19 in China's capital over the past week, which infected more than 100 people, was traced to Beijing's massive Jinfadi market. The market was the capital's largest trading center for farm produce, with high levels of product traffic and clusters of people. In a report published on its website on Wednesday, the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection said the epidemic is a mirror that not only reflects the dirty and messy aspects of wholesale markets, but also their low-level management conditions. The report also noted that most of the markets were built 20 to 30 years ago, when drainage and wastewater treatment was relatively undeveloped. China's food markets have emerged as an ideal breeding ground for the coronavirus, which has now infected more than 8 billion people worldwide. The first major cluster of infections was traced to the Huanan seafood market in Wuhan, where bats and other wild animals were believed to be on sale. On June 16, Chinese health officials reported 31 new infections in Beijing, bringing the total number of infections to 137 over the past 6 days. Beijing cancelled scores of flights, shut schools and blocked off some neighborhoods as it ramped up efforts to contain the outbreak. Although roads and highways were still open and companies and factories had not been told to halt work, authorities stepped up movement control measures. Kindergartens, primary schools and high schools shut across the city, as were some bars, restaurants and nightclubs. Hundreds of scheduled flights at the Beijing Capital International Airport had also been cancelled.
And that's all we have time for, ladies and gentlemen. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. Don't forget that you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news update. I'm Daniel Anthony. Stay safe, Malaysia, and thank you for watching.